In 2023, the results of an international architecture ideas competition were announced, but within hours of the award ceremony, the internet erupted in shock. It emerged that the winning entry's signature visuals had been generated using Midjourney. The organizers claimed a rules violation. The winner argued it was simply a tool. This incident was far more than a passing controversy. It struck at the very heart of what architectural design means, the definition of creativity, the nature of authorship, and the future of the profession itself. Right now, architects and designers around the world are being forced to answer a question they never expected. What does it mean to design in the age of AI? Let us look at this precisely. When we examine the competition controversies that have surfaced globally, three recurring patterns emerge. First, entries where AI-generated images were submitted directly as the final design output. Second, entries where AI defined the form and a human handled only the finishing touches. Third, entries that won without disclosing the use of AI-generated imagery at all. Critically, none of these three scenarios are explicitly prohibited under most current competition rules. That is exactly the problem. The regulations have not kept pace with the technology. Major international architecture bodies, including the American Institute of Architects, the Royal Institute of British Architects, and the International Union of Architects, have yet to publish definitive official guidelines on AI use in competitions. The vacuum in rules is becoming a vacuum in ethics. Inside the architecture profession, two camps are now standing in sharp opposition. Those who argue AI use should be accepted make this case: tools have always evolved. When CAD arrived, the same debate erupted. When 3D printing emerged, history repeated itself. What ultimately matters, they say, is the quality of the final work and the depth of the ideas behind it. On the other side, those calling for restrictions on AI argue something fundamentally different. Competitions exist to evaluate a designer's thinking process, not just the output. If AI replaces form generation, they warn, a practitioner with decades of spatial expertise is placed on equal footing with someone skilled only at writing a clever prompt. This, they insist, is a question of fairness, not technology. Neither side is wrong, and that is precisely what makes this debate so difficult to resolve. To engage in this debate seriously, we need a clear-eyed view of what today's AI design tools are actually capable of. In professional architectural practice, AI now operates across four distinct roles. First, image generation. Tools like Midjourney and Stable Diffusion produce concept sketches and atmospheric visuals in seconds. Second, automated floor plan generation. Platforms such as Autodesk's SpaceMaker and Archistar take design constraints as input and generate hundreds of layout alternatives automatically. Third, BIM integrated optimization. AI working alongside Revit simultaneously optimizes structural performance, daylighting, and energy efficiency. And research suggests BIM integrated AI systems can detect approximately 78% of design errors at the initial review stage. Fourth, text-based design instruction. Large language models convert written briefs into draft specifications and technical documents automatically. AI is no longer a rendering assistant. It has penetrated the entire design process from concept through documentation. So what ethical framework should practitioners actually adopt? The major international architecture bodies currently in discussion share three common principles as a foundation. First, transparency. Practitioners must disclose which AI tools were used and at which stage of the design process, much as you would credit a collaborating designer. Second, accountability. Even when AI generates the output, legal and ethical responsibility rests entirely with the licensed architect who signs off on the work. If you cannot stand behind the result, you have no right to use the tool. Third, the primacy of human creativity. AI is an instrument for expanding possibility, not a substitute for creative judgment. These three principles apply not only to competition entries, but to everyday professional practice, at every stage of design. The global architecture community can no longer afford to defer this conversation. While the ethical debate continues, there is a practical reality we cannot ignore. The productivity gap between architects who use AI strategically and those who do not is already opening and widening fast. Reports from professional practices that have integrated AI image generation into their concept design phase indicate that client presentation preparation time has been cut by approximately 60%. Teams using Autodesk SpaceMaker have reported roughly 8 times as many design alternatives reviewed per project cycle compared to conventional workflows. The question is no longer whether to use AI, it is which principles guide your use of it and how deliberately you apply it. While some practitioners hesitate on the sidelines, those who are engaging with AI ethically and strategically are already capturing market share. Standing still is not a neutral position, it is a choice to fall behind. In an era where AI-generated designs win international competitions, we face 2 risks at once, and we must guard against both. The first is refusing to engage with AI entirely, closing our eyes to a transformation that is already reshaping the profession. The second is hiding behind AI-generated output and quietly surrendering our own creativity and accountability. An architect's signature is not merely a stamp. It is a promise to the people who will live and work inside that space. It is a declaration of responsibility for every decision made throughout the entire design process. AI may generate the form, but reading the human context embedded within that form, designing the emotional experience of space, and owning every judgment that shaped it. That is what only an architect can do. As the profession enters the AI era, what values will you place behind your signature?